Grant's Overland/Wilderness Campaign, May 4th through June 24th, presented by Gunther Kissell and Bret Minnick. Leading up to the campaign, at this point the Civil War was limping into its fourth year. Many men serving the Union had signed up for 3-year enlistments, meaning their terms were soon to expire. President Lincoln recognized this as well as the ensuing presidential election and knew he needed the war to shift in their favor. March 1964, Lincoln names Ulysses S. Grant Lieutenant General, thereby entrusting all war efforts to him. Grant was chosen by Lincoln for his history of success at battles such as Vicksburg and Chattanooga, and was thought of as an exceptional leader and a stubborn fighter. Grant quickly got to work. His first campaign would be set on the capture of the Confederate capital of Richmond, Virginia, leading a 115,000-man army, which was nearly double that of the Confederates. The plan was for Grant to engage and push back General Lee's forces, therefore preventing Lee from sending troops to Atlanta, Georgia, where Union troops, led by General William T. Sherman, were headed. Based on his plan, Grant knew the Union would sustain high casualties, but because of their numerical advantage, he believed that this would be the best bet to take an upper hand and finish the war. On May 5th of 1864, Grant's forces, who were being led by General Meade, and Lee's forces met in a heavily wooded area and fought for 48 hours in the Battle of the Wilderness. The battle was rather gruesome, with bushfire starting and burning some men alive. But once the smoke had cleared, it revealed they were essentially back where they had started. In the short 48 hours, the Union had lost around 18,000 men, while the Confederates had lost around 11,000. Despite this, Grant and the Union Army stood their ground. Grant ordered Meade to march his forces around Lee's and embark deeper toward Richmond.
Battle of Spotsylvania Courthouse. Lee saw Grant's intentions and raced his army to Spotsylvania Courthouse, Lee arriving there first, therefore giving the Confederates superior defense. Both sides developed complex trench systems, and various hard-fought give-and-take battles ensued. At one point, the Union nearly won by making a small gap in the Confederate line at the Bloody Angle, but the Confederates regrouped and pushed the Union soldiers back. In the end, the Union was unable to make any sort of progress, so Grant ordered General Meade to disengage and march southeast to Richmond. In the end, the Union Army lost 18,000 men compared to the Confederates' 12,000. Despite this, Grant remained confident that they could win the war of attrition, so he kept firm to his goal of defeating Lee's army and reaching Richmond.
More than a week later, the Battle of Cold Harbor took place. Known as one of the bloodiest, most lopsided battles known to man, Cold Harbor resulted in a victory for the Confederate troops. The battle took place from May 31st to June 12th. However, the most significant fighting took place on the 3rd of June. Cold Harbor was remembered for the casualties, as Grant said it best when he announced the regret he bestowed for the Union's last assault on Cold Harbor. He believed nothing was earned from the battle, just the loss of thousands of troops. Regardless, that would be Lee's last victory in the Civil War.
What's next? After the defeat at Cold Harbor, Grant quickly moved on. He commanded his army to move across the James River to prepare for an assault on Petersburg. Petersburg served as a crucial railroad junction, as well as the main supply line to Richmond. Grant's strategy had shifted from trying to overtake the Virginian Confederate forces to him simply being patient and starving them out. Lee realized this shift in strategy, and he knew that his army was likely doomed. The beginning of the end had arrived for the Confederacy.